The term child labor is often defined as a work that deprives children of their childhood, their capabilities, and their potential, and that is harmful to their physical and mental development. The worst forms of child labor involves children being enslaved, separated from their families, exposed to serious illness and hazards, and often left to fend for themselves alone in large cities, often at a very young age. In global estimates on 2020 by International Labour Organization, 160 million children consisting 63 million girls and 97 million boys are exposed to child labor, making it almost 1 in 10 children worldwide, and nearly half of 97 million children are exposed in hazardous works. First question is, aware ka ba na mayroong child labor dito sa Pilipinas at sa buong mundo?
Yes.
So, sa tingin mo ba, tama na may mga batang nagtatrabaho para mag-survive or what?
No. Personally and in reality, child labor should never be encouraged as it poses a huge threat and a problem for the child's development, not just physically but emotionally, intellectually, and most importantly, their mental status na imbis na mag-focus sila sa enjoy nila yung youth nila, mag-play sila sa labas at mas nape-pressure sila to make something out of nothing na yung responsibility nila masyadong mabigat para sa edad na nila na masyado silang bata para sa ganun. So I'm not agreeing on the part that child labor should be, yes.
So yes or no, may part ba dapat ang government sa pag-abolish ng child labor?
Yes.
Thank you so much.
We often hear of child labor being a prevalent social issue, but in order to combat this problem entirely, we need to be aware of its roots. Thus, this video discusses the causes and effects of child labor, as well as the recommendations we suggest for this matter. The unstable financial situation. This may be due to sudden illnesses of relatives or job losses of minimum wage earners in the family. Poverty and migration. Children tend to work in order for them to survive, especially when they just migrated in another country by themselves. The lack of access to quality education. Due to their inability to study, they often chose to work instead. Lastly, the limited knowledge and understanding of child labor. This happens mostly in the entertainment industry, wherein parents tend to force their children to work in televisions, not recognizing that these are examples of child labor itself. The consequences of child labor vary depending on what caused this in the first place. However, it is important to note that they result in a singular long-term impact on each victim. They have been robbed of their fundamental rights. Nevertheless, let us break down the potential effects of each cause mentioned. Limited personal development. When children are forced to work at a very young age, they tend to sacrifice their own physical and mental growth, which causes them to limit their own development of essential life skills. Slavery and exploitation. Poverty-driven child labor exposes them to exploitative conditions due to their vulnerable status. Bodily harm, mental harm, or even death. Forced migration and refugee situations faces severe physical and mental harm, and in extreme cases, death to children. Escaping change. Due to their inability to access formal education, they are unable to see the extent of their situation, thus hindering their ability to break the cycle and accepting it as a societal norm. Social inaction. Without awareness, communities may not take collective actions to eradicate child labor. These social attitudes remain unchanged.
For the individual level recommendation, one should have a proper family planning. When a person has a knowledge of what starting a family comes with, how heavy the responsibilities will be, and the intensity of the commitment needed, people will begin to realize what it takes to have a child. To prevent more child suffering from this, those who plans to start or create a family should be aware of their upcoming responsibilities. Ending child labor starts by reporting the cases if you happen to encounter one. This is only one of the few actions that an individual can make that could result to a huge impact to end this child labor. Reporting these cases will help to tighten the rules and regulations regarding the child labor. This will make the room smaller for the perpetrators and other people that are causing the child labor. For the third one is being responsible. Having a kid is a lifetime commitment and an individual should know that. So before you start a family, make sure you have the financial stability. Why? Because you're the one who is going to carry all the expenses, education, healthcare, and other basic needs that a child needs in their life. The next one is the long-term planning. You should have a structured planning that will support the family for a long time until the child reaches the age where they can stand on their own. Next one is a healthy relationship. You and your partner are going to be the source or foundation of the support of the child that will help with their growth. Emotional stability will allow the future parents to handle the challenges, creating a nurturing environment and healthy environment for the kids to grow up.
Children may be driven into work for various reasons. Most often, child labor occurs when families face financial struggles or uncertainty, whether due to poverty or parents cannot afford to meet their basic necessities. One of the main reasons why child labor takes place is that families do not understand the dangers and how this impact the health, safety, well-being, and future of their child. Therefore, by getting informed and educated about the effect of child labor could help to prevent it. Parents should be aware of their responsibilities and dangers when sending their child into work just to provide their needs. Furthermore, we know that parents plays a crucial role in the development of their children. They must prioritize and ensure the education of their child and emphasize the long-term benefits of it. And most importantly, we should know that having a child is having a responsibility to provide for them, and it is better if we know what family planning is before entering parenthood. As a youth, we must be aware of the decisions we make and not fall into child labor. Taking initiatives by supporting advocacies and raising awareness can lead to eradicating this issue. By implementing these recommendations, parents can contribute significantly to the prevention of child labor and ensure the well-being and development of their children. Taking a step to eradicate child labor will provide a better future for the children and families who were forced to work at a young age.
Child labor remains a pressing issue in the Philippines, posing threat to the well-being and development of countless children. Tackling this problem requires a multifaceted approach at the national level, addressing root causes and fostering a supportive environment for children to thrive. To achieve these objectives, strengthening the legislative framework is crucial, for it will help ensure that laws are in place and properly enforced. Investing in education is also recommended, for it will help address the root cause by breaking the cycle of poverty and provide children with better life opportunities. Raising public awareness is also a good start, while supporting vulnerable families will help lessen the economic factors that drive child labor. For a bigger movement, collaborating with NGOs and international organizations is a great way to enhance the effectiveness of national efforts, tapping into a broader pool of expertise and resources in creating a comprehensive strategy in combating child labor in the Philippines.
International laws and agreements against child labor. Supranational organizations, such as the International Labour Organization or the ILO, have played a crucial role in developing and implementing international conventions that aim to eliminate child labor.
These conventions provide a framework for government to formulate policies and establish legal protections for children. One such convention is the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Child, or the UNCRC, which sets out the rights of children and calls for the prohibition and elimination of child labor. Ratified by almost all countries, the UNCRC serves as a powerful tool in holding governments accountable for protecting children from exploitation. Rehabilitation and reintegration of child labor victims. Protecting and rehabilitating child labor victims are fundamental to their recovery and reintegration into society. It is crucial to provide comprehensive support services that address their physical, emotional, and psychological needs. In addition to education, healthcare services are essential for child labor victims. Many children engaged in labor suffer from physical ailments and injuries due to hazardous working conditions. Providing them with access to healthcare ensures their well-being and aids in their recovery. Mental health support is also crucial. Many of these children have experienced trauma and exploitation, which can have long-lasting psychological effects. Offering counseling and therapy services can help them heal and rebuild their lives, restoring their sense of dignity and self-worth.
Ano pangalan mo?
John Mart,
Ilang taon ka na?
9.
Nag-aaral ka ba?
Hindi po.
So bakit ka nandito sa kalsada?
Nagtitinda ako ng biskwit.
Bukod sa pagtitinda dito sa kalsada, ano pa bang gusto mong gawin?
Mag-aaral
May mga gusto ka bang bilhin?
na sapatos.
Sige, maraming salamat dyan, Mark.
Child labor has profound economic and social impacts that extend beyond the intermediate exploitation of children. By understanding the economic consequences and social implications, we can work towards implementing effective measures to combat child labor, break the cycle of poverty, and provide a brighter future for all children. It is a deeply entrenched issue that thrives in contexts where enforcement is weak and children's rights is not a priority. Overcoming these barriers requires not only political will, but also an increased investment in law enforcement and public awareness campaigns to change societal attitudes towards child labor.